Tell us a little bit. How long have you been coaching?
This is my 31st year, 31st season.
And how did you get into coaching?
I'm a native of Aiken, grew up here, played golf at Palmetto Golf Club, knew Randy Warwick, and he told me about how they were looking to transition from NAIA to NCAA Division II, and their golf program had been a good NAIA program. Wanted to see if I'd be interested in possibly coaching the men's team in that transition.
Did you think that you'd stick around for more than a couple of years when you first got involved, or?
I really didn't have any preconceived notions at all.
And was this like a goal of yours to be a head coach, or was it just something that happened?
Yeah, I've always thought the second best job you could have in golf, if you're not a PGA Tour player making $20 million a year, would to be a college coach. I always liked college athletics, the college environment, and I always thought that was a great job in golf, better than being a club professional.
So 31 years, what's kept you around for so long?
The wonderful people that I work with on a daily basis here in the athletic department definitely have made it very tolerable.
How did you get started with golf?
With golf, growing up here in Aiken, I played, a lot of baseball, more baseball than anything, but played basketball and football and everything else too. But then I liked golf because it's an individual sport. I liked that aspect of it, and grew up playing golf down at Highland Park, which is Aiken Golf Club. Big group of kids down there playing. I mean, there'd be 20, 30 kids down there in the summer playing, and just got started that way.
So what drew you to golf? Was it just that individual sport aspect? You don't have to rely on a team as much? Or?
I liked it. My mom and dad played, so I was exposed to it at an early age there, and just a really good group of kids down at Aiken Golf Club, Highland Park, and the guy who owned Highland Park at the time, Jim McNair, Sr., his son and I were good friends growing up, and he was a good teacher and a good motivator, and he just really got me excited about playing golf and being involved in it.
Was there ever a moment where you thought you might go further with one of those other sports that you played?
No, I'm like 10, 11, 12 years old, so I didn't think any further in the next 15 minutes at that time, probably.
Makes sense. Did you ever try to do the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I played professionally for about 4 years, played the mini tour, traveled around for about 4 years playing.
How'd that go?
It was okay. I had some success, and I was just to the point where I was kind of tired of that traveling. I really didn't have a lot of resources behind me. I had a couple of friends of mine who gave me a couple $1,000s, and I pretty much went the first tournament I went to and did well in those tournaments and made enough money to keep on going for about 4 or 5 years.
So you said that in the golfing world, your opinion is that if you can't be on PGA Tour, the next best thing is coaching. Why is
Right.
that?
Just for me, that was because I like college athletics in general, and just being in that environment just appealed to me.
Is there anything else about coaching specifically that you enjoy?
Well, I like all aspects of it. There's college golf coaches have a great camaraderie. They really do. There's no other sports where the coaches get along as well as in college golf, and that's a big part. I've made a lot of friends all over the country through college golf. When I played, and also since being a coach, I've made even more friends doing that.
What is it about college athletics that you like so much?
I think just the purity of it, of the kids, just this is their first foray, getting away from home, maybe getting involved on a team, a little bit more involved in what they were at home, having some success. Those kind of things appeal to me.
It sounds like at least part of it is just the college experience, like them getting out on their own for the first time, not necessarily related to athletics.
I'd say that's a big part of it too, but I mean, they could also have that experience playing in tournaments on their own outside the college environment, and they do have that. But just, the college situation is where they're part of a team and they're taken care of as part of a team. They're taking the tournaments, their entry fees are paid, hotels paid for, all that kind of thing is just can kind of bring out the best in some of the players sometimes.
How did you get involved with being able to play so many Division I teams and give them a little bit different experience here?
Yeah, years ago, when I first got into college golf, this guy at University of North Florida named John Brooks, who'd been in a few years before me, and John and I became good friends. And I noticed how he did at that time. North Florida was a Division II school, and he ran a Division I tournament and invited the Division I teams there. Put on a good show, a good tournament. Was a good host, and he got invited to bigger tournaments. And I saw that as a good avenue for us for two purposes. One, when you play a really good schedule like that, you're going to be able to recruit better players to help your team be better. And also your players are going to get better playing better golf courses against better competition. So, we don't discount the Division II competition at all. There's a lot of good Division II competition out there, and the top 20 teams in D2 are really quite good. Obviously, D1 is a little bit deeper, but we do play really good Division II tournaments, and we play in good Division I tournaments on good golf courses against good teams. And being a good host here for the Cleveland Golf Palmetto Intercollegiate, we get a lot of good teams there and get invitations to their tournaments too.
And having such a good golf course in your backyard, per se, and your team's able to play it, does that help a lot in recruiting, you think?
It absolutely does. I mean, that's obviously Palmetto Golf Club is the big draw for our tournament. I mean, if we had the same sponsorships and the same situation at another golf course, it would be a good tournament, but it would not be as special as being able to play a place like Palmetto with all the history and tradition of the game that's part of Palmetto. And, the coaches and players, they recognize that, and it carries a lot of weight.
You've won the school's only national championships with the 2 individual titles and the 3, back-to-back years where your team won the national championships. Can you just talk about those teams a little bit?
Yeah, there were good teams, a lot of local players. Scott Brown's a local player, Dane Burkhart, a local player, and they just worked real hard and really believed in what they're doing, and they just had a lot of fun with it. And so we attracted some good players here. They got better when they were here, and just kind of got some momentum going during those 3 years, which is what carried us through to win those championships.
You've won over 90 tournaments, I believe.
Yeah.
So how does that feel to be able to be up and among, really in terms of wins, tournament wins, among the greatest that there is right now?
Well, it's good, but let's face the facts. The reason we win tournaments is because of the student athletes we have. I don't drive the van off the road into a ditch or anything like that. Then I've done my job. I make sure they got clean socks on every morning, and they're the ones who work hard every day at practice. It's all with the student athletes, Anybody, any college athletics, I've always believed recruiting and getting the best student athletes you can is how you win, how you succeed in the classroom and on the golf course or playing field. So we've been able to get some good student athletes here. They've done very well, worked hard, got better, and that's why the championships were won, because of them.
You do have a lot of international student athletes over the course of your career here. How is that with your team being so diverse with so many different countries coming in and from all over to be able to also play alongside it with your American student athletes?
They get along very well. I think both of those groups, international players and domestic players, I think they learn from each other. They gain an appreciation for each other. And when I say learn, it's not just about learning about playing golf, but they just learn about their lives back home where they're from, and it just kind of broadens them a little bit, I think, in their development year. And when you go to college, you're supposed to develop as an individual, become a better person, and I think that's part of the process.
Can you tell us a story or two that just people don't know, a fun story about some of your golfers that people don't know? Because
let's see, and not getting in any trouble with the FBI or Homeland Security or anything like that.
Yeah, like nothing like Parker where Kenny thinks that you really can't go into any restaurant ever.
Well, we as an individual, all individuals, they all have different situations, and we've run across a few food allergies and a few language issues along the way, but really nothing that's that outstandingly hilarious. I don't think. Maybe Roberto Diaz, it was kind of funny. He always loved the restaurant Zaxby's, but he always pronounced it Zaxby's. B-Y-S in Spanish is pronounced like B-I-S, Bix. And so for 4 years, he called it Zaxby's, and his teammates would never ever tell him the correct pronunciation of it. And he says, so are there any other restaurants like the Waffle House? Am I pronouncing that wrong, after 4 years? And they finally told him, he says, I can't believe you guys let me look like an idiot for 4 years pronouncing those things wrong. So just little subtle things like that kind of add up after a while, and they're kind of humorous.
Are you able to keep up with all of your student athletes over the years after they graduated?
We do. They're good about staying in touch. I just spent this morning about 20 minutes talking with Ryan Dillon, who played. He finished up in 97, I think 97 or 98. So, it's been 22 years, 23 years since he was here on campus, but I still stay in touch with him and keep up with what's going on in his family and his life.
Yeah. Do you have any of your former golfers? I mean, also ones that are playing professionally that have done some pretty good things that you've been able to still talk to them about?
Well, we haven't had any brain surgeons or anybody find a cure for cancer, but I mean, they've all, returned back to their homes and, have professional jobs, and they're doing well. A lot of them are raising families, kids. So I'm always hearing about kids and ones getting married and stuff like that. They're just living their lives, living normal lives.
So what is next for Coach Carlisle for the next few years?
Just continue to work with this outstanding staff that we have in this athletic department, and depending upon them to help us get better and provide a better student-athlete experience for all our student-athletes.
What do you think defines your coaching philosophy? Because I know there are some coaches who think you get projects, you work and develop on them, but it sounds like you would rather get student-athletes who are already top bar.
Well, obviously you want to. And to me, once you get even a player like that here that's really good, you got to realize golf is an individual game. They're all different. You can't make them all or expect them all to want to do the same thing on a daily basis at practice. And, there's a million different ways to swing the golf club. They're all right. If you look at the PGA Tour, you see swings like Jim Furyk and just, he looks like an octopus falling out of a tree the way it's been described. But the guy's won more money than most anybody and been successful. So you got to realize that. So you just, learn what they are, where they came from, their teaching in the background, what little things they need to do to get better. I'm not a swing guru. I'm not one of these guys say you have to grip it this way, you have to swing it that way. And today everybody is doing this. It's not it. I mean, we'll be all over the place, and sometimes they have things going on they can't get to practice. Well, that's fine. It's not like it's a militaristic, regimented situation where they have to be there doing the same thing all the time. They're all individuals. They're going to do different things. They know what they need to do to get better. And I just will throw in a few things every now and then, suggestions every now and then, only when I think I have a seriously valid point. If they believe in what they're doing, they need to keep on doing it, because if they believe in it, they're going to do it better because they have confidence in it. Instead of going in there shaking their confidence, saying like, "Oh, you're all wrong. You got to change this." That's the worst thing you could do.
Or you think giving them a bit more freedom and giving them the ability to figure out almost themselves what they could do better and how to improve.
That's too deep for me, Cody. I can't handle that. My head's spinning right now. I'm about to fall off this chair after hearing that right there.